Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is pretty exciting. I have finally received the Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection in the mail, and today I created this very fall warm red berry toned cut crease using the Ring the Alarm palette, and I'm pretty excited about this. I definitely enjoyed using it. I am going to basically go into detail with these colors. I basically decided, instead of doing like swatch video and review and everything like that, I wanted to do a comparison video. So every single palette that I do a video over with a tutorial, it's going to compare the palette to the original big Jaclyn Hill palette. And I want to see if any colors match up, if they're close, if they're dupes for each other, if they're similar, if they're literally not even on the same color spectrum. Like, I just wanted to compare all the colors in every single palette to the original palette. So that is basically what I did do. I have my little notebook next to me with all the colors written down, and I have swatches for y'all comparing the colors, everything like that. So I hope you guys do enjoy this video. It took me a while to film, so I hope y'all do enjoy it, and let's go ahead and get started. So right off the back, if you do own the big one, obviously this is what the inside looks like. Lots of colors, lots of different variety. And the first palette that we are going to do today is the Ring the Alarm palette. I'm pretty excited about this palette. I loved the look I created on my eyes today. It's absolutely beautiful in my opinion. And I was very excited to receive this one in the mail. I was like, this is probably a collection I'm very excited for. So we're going to go over each individual shades, and then we will get into the tutorial portion of this video. So starting off with the very first shade right here in this palette, this very first one right here, it is called Lolly. I found this one to be a very unique because it's not a red and it's not a pink. To me, it almost reminds myself of like a strawberry pinky red. I don't know why the word strawberry comes to mind, it just does, but that's what I thought of whenever I did swatch this. And then I could not find an exact close dupe in the big palette for this. The only ones that I did found was Sissy and Little Lady, and that are these two shades over here in this corner. As you can tell when I swatch them, they're not exactly dupes for each other, but they're the only shades that I can find in this palette that were basically close enough to resemble the Lolly shade. But the Lolly shade's very unique, like I said, because it's almost like a hybrid between a red, a pink, and like a strawberry color. So next we move on to our first matte, which is the shade Rush right here. Rush, I did found a pretty dang close dupe for in the big palette, and this one is called Butter. Butter is the shade right here on the second row, second from the left side. I found this one to be pretty close to Rush. So with that being said, there's probably I only starred 2 shades out of this whole palette that actually have resembled dupes-ish to the big palette, and Rush with Butter was definitely one of them. So moving on to the next shade we have On Camera, which is our first pretty intense gold shade out of here. I could not find a dupe for On Camera. The only ones that I did find was Queen, and Queen is a little bit more of a bronze, as you can tell in the swatch, and On Camera is more of a yellow gold. So that was really the only thing, is that the undertones of the golds are a little bit different. Both are kind of like a unique gold though, because of the different undertones, and you can tell if the undertones match, I think they would be perfectly dupes for each other. But since they are just a little bit different in that category, sadly, it doesn't make them dupes, but they are beautiful golds. Next shade we have right here is called Boom, and this was another dupe that I did have. This one duped for the shade Firework, except Firework was a tad bit redder than Boom. I went to Firework a lot in this palette to try to dupe some more, but that's the color right there, and I felt like it was a pretty close dupe to Boom. And that was basically like the last shade that I could find that duped any of the other shades in the Jaclyn palette, but there's just a little bit of a redness difference in those two. And then the last shade in this top row is Alert, which is kind of a matte reddish orange. And I found no match in the Jaclyn Hill palette for this one. I literally wrote no match, and the only closest ones I could find that I swatched next to it, which were Roxanne and Chip, but the undertones were completely different. They didn't match that well. So there was just simply no match for that one. And then the one that I did use on my eyelids today, which is Bomb Ass, is literally the most bomb red shade. This is a cherry red shade. I love this shade so much. I found no match for this one also. The only other one I could find that I did swatch was Cran Apple and Firework, which is what we compared Boom to, but those did not match. bomb ass. It's just a very, very true cherry red, and you can see it in the swatch. It's absolutely beautiful, and it's so unique. There literally was no match for it, and I really like this shade. I think it's gonna be my favorite one out of this palette. That is why I did use that shade today. And then the next one we have right here is Siren. This is kind of a purplish shade. It's not completely matte, but it's not as shimmery as the other ones. It has a little bit of shimmer in it. And the one that I matched this one to was called Jax. It's not a full match because Siren does have a little bit of shimmer, like I did say, but that is the Jax shade right here in the palette. It's pretty close, but it's not exactly matchable. And then the next shade, which I did use again on my eyes today, is called Mugshot. This is that baby pukey shade Jaclyn Hill always refers to in all of her videos. And the only one that I could find a dupe for that, I mean, I wouldn't even say dupe because it didn't match, is the shade Pukey in the palette. And this kind of has that same like brownie, orangish, yellow tone to it, but again, it wasn't an exact match. And then next was Framed. This was the purple that I used in my crease today. This was a really, really pretty true purple. And the only one I could find was Chip, and this is not really close at all, but this was the only color in the palette that I felt resembled maybe a little bit of Framed. And then the last one we have in here is Secret, and this is a very, very kind of like dark chocolate brown. And the only one I could find that matched this one was Mocha, but Mocha had more of a gray undertone. Secret had a very deep dark brown undertone, and since Mocha had a little bit more gray, it just really didn't match or work out. So that is basically my take on these bad boys, if any of them had dupes or anything like that. I was pretty surprised to only see that 2 out of here only matched basically. So that really leaves 8 unique shades that she really created, and I think that's pretty cool that she kind of strayed away from matching anything to the original Jaclyn Hill palette, which I did like, because I feel like, you know, you're not getting exact shades, which means, you know, you're not paying more money for shades you already have, kind of thing. So I was pretty impressed to see that, and I can't wait to see what the other palettes look like. But I'm pretty excited to show y'all this tutorial. I'm in love with the lip color and of course the eyes. So let's just go ahead and jump into the tutorial. Okay, so now that we got through the intro with the comparison swatches and everything, we're gonna go now into the tutorial portion using the Ring the Alarm palette. I'm pretty dang excited about this. Like I did say on my Instagram stories, I will be doing a tutorial dedicated to each palette and comparison swatches. I know when she released the Vault, there was no intention of obviously duping any shades in the original Jaclyn Hill palette, because she did these 35 shades in the palette and then obviously ran out of room, and then that is when they started working on the Vault. But I thought it would be kind of cool just to do comparison swatches, simply because you may not need all 4 of these palettes. You may not only need one. I mean, you never know, and I think it's good to have that information either way. So we are going to start with the eyes. I'm not going to show the face products or anything like that, just because I want to solely focus on the eye makeup. But I'm going to do my brows and prime my eyes off camera. So I'm just going to use the Makeup Revolution Brow Pomade, LA Girl Pro Conceal. I'm going to tape off everything. We're going to come back and start with the eyes. Okay, brows are done. Eyes are primed. Obviously, the first thing that I did notice is there is no shade really to set the lid for priming or anything like that. So I did use the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder. There's literally no shade that would work at all. So that's kind of a bummer, but then again, I don't think she made these palettes necessarily maybe to complete a full look, because it doesn't have a black either. It just has like this really dark brown. So that's really the only setback so far. I don't really know what I want to go for today. I'm definitely obviously thinking something warm toned because of the theme of this palette. So I have a red shirt on, so maybe I'm gonna use this like bomb ash shade that is like a really true cherry red, like I said at the beginning. On a fluffy brush, I'm taking this shade right here called Rush, and there does seem to be a little bit of kick up in the pan, but definitely nothing compared to like Anastasia kick up. When I used the new Norvina palette, there was a lot of kick up in the pan with that one, but this doesn't seem to have a lot of kick up. So I'm just going to take the lightest shade, which is Rush, and start buffing this into the crease. Seems smooth so far. Now, I personally feel like in the beginning when I was doing the swatch comparison photos, I just got the vault yesterday. I have not swatched any of these shades or anything, and basically when I did the comparison swatches, this was the first time that I did swatch any of the palettes. And I have to say, going back and thinking about her YouTube video that she made about the palettes, her swatches were so beautiful, and I feel like mine really weren't I guess subpar to hers. They weren't as intense, you know. She obviously can cut out whatever footage she wants to cut out, maybe of how many times she went over it. You know, she says one swatch, but some of the mattes in here, I just wasn't that, you know, like one swatch, oh my goodness kind of thing. Like they were a little bit patchy with one swatch. It wasn't like this rich intensity of color like the basically the video that she released with the four palettes in the vault. So that's really the only thing, and I believe you'll be able to see when I do the swatches. Like I had to go over them a few times to really get the intensity of it. And I think the one I had to go over quite a bit was Framed or Secret. It was a darker mattes like that. But this one seems to be blending out fine. It's a normal, you know, good transition shade to begin with. Now taking a more fluffy brush and going in with Mugshot. This one doesn't seem to have very much kick up in the pan either. But if y'all did order the vault and maybe you have the same impressions that I do, let me know down below, because I would definitely be curious to see your thoughts on maybe your swatches at home versus her swatches. And let's just mind this acne situation. I have no idea what's going on. Like, I have no idea what's going on with my skin. I'm trying to fix it and it's taking a process apparently, but yeah, let me know down below what y'all think. Mugshot shade is blending out nicely. It looks pretty good on the eye. I just wanted something a tad bit darker than the very first shade that we did use. So I'm basically just blending this into the crease and right here on the outer V of our eye. And since I do have hooded eyes, I normally like to take whatever colors I'm using and blend them up just a little bit more. That way you're able to see the colors. So I'm thinking what I want to do is I kind of want to do a cut crease, and I want to use the Bomb Ash shade all over the lid. So I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my little brush that I love to use for cut creases. This is the Morphe E36. This is what I like to do a lot of the crease detailing work with. And I think I'm going to take the shade Framed right here, and I'm going to start basically applying this into the crease right here. And we're gonna go with that Bomb Ash shade right after and cut the crease with concealer. But I like to normally do this first to kind of get the outline out, because obviously once we go with the lid shade, it's gonna cover a majority of it, but I like to just put a little bit of the color down first. Color was pretty pigmented too. I didn't really use very much of it. So now taking a little bit of the concealer that we used to prime our eyes, I'm just gonna take some of that on a flat brush and start carving out the crease. I normally like to start with a little bit look up so I know where the concealer hits, and then fully carve out my eyelid. Okay, so now that that is down, this eye looks a little bit messy, but we're gonna take the Bomb Ass red shade, which I'm pretty excited about. So I hope it's gonna look good on the eye. And we're going to basically tap this in. Oh wow, yeah, that's a really pretty red shade. The only thing I am noticing though, it's a very, very intense cherry red shade, but it doesn't have a really, very intense, like foiled effect. Like it's not very like sparkly or reflective. I feel like it's just a really intense cherry red. It does have a little bit of a shimmer to it, but nothing like what I was really expecting. Okay, so now that the red shade's down, I'm taking that same pencil brush with a little bit of Framed again, and we're going to start blending out this line. And then we're gonna go in with a fluffy brush with a little bit of Rush on it. So I think what I want to do to add just a little bit more intensity, I think I want to take the shade Lolly, which is right above Bomb Ass, and I'm going to apply this directly on the center of that red shade. My brush is completely dry too, it's not wet or anything. Okay, so I think I'm done with the eyes right now. If I want to kind of add anything or re-intensify anything, I will do that. But I'm going to do my full face of makeup right now. And then I'm also gonna apply some lashes. I'm gonna apply the Salon Perfect Demi Wispy lashes with this, and then we'll come back and do the lower lash line and then wrap up this video. Okay, so face makeup is done, and as you can tell, I chose a very bold lip. I was feeling feisty with this makeup look. So this lip is the Bella Pierre Kiss Proof Lip Cream in Rose Petal. I love the formula of these matte, very, very comfortable liquid lipsticks, but the applicator sucks so bad. So it takes a while to get a good outline of your lips, but y'all, I wish it was fall. I really wish it was fall. I want to break out the fall decor and put up the pumpkins in the Christmas tree and just be happy in life. And this lip right here, like, I can't wait to wear this. This is my jam right here. So moving on to the lower lash line, I definitely know I want to smoke it out. So for the lower lash line, I'm actually gonna take a flat definer brush with the shade Framed, which was the purple shade that we put into the crease, and I'm actually going to start buffing this right against my lashes. And I think that's all I'm gonna do as far as the lower lash line. I forgot how much I really love these lashes, how lightweight and easy they are to apply. I just thought I'd throw that in there because I love these lashes. There is no shade in here to highlight our brow bone or inner corner, so I'm just going to go into the original big Jaclyn Hill palette to do this. And I'm actually gonna mix the very first two kind of white shades. The first one's in Light, and then the second one is Beam. So I'm just going to mix both of these together and apply them to our inner corner and then our brow bone. And this is the final look. I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. I've been really into making like full cut creases recently, and I'm getting so many fall vibes, y'all. I'm so excited. Like, this lip combo, this color is just everything to me right now. Like, I really love this eyes with this lip. Something about it is just, I'm loving it. And I think I'm really gonna like this with the Dark Matter palette. I think that's what it's called. Like the really, really dark greens and blues. I can't wait to use that one. So maybe I'll use that one next. But I like this palette. I'm gonna go, obviously in the beginning I went more in depth with how I feel about everything like that. But as of right now, after using everything like that, I really do enjoy this palette. I think this is gonna be really good for fall because it's not restricting you to just kind of orangey brown shades. Like, I feel like that's what everybody uses for fall. Yes, it's a warm tone palette. Yes, it's very basic. Yes, there are thousands of them out there. But as far as like matching shades to the big palette, there really aren't that many that match. There's close ones. There's, I think, only 2 that actually match pretty dang close. But other than that, these are pretty original shades to the big one. And I really like that you get, like, there's oranges, there's browns, there's purples, there's like mustardy oranges, there's reds, there's like strawberry reds. Like, you get a good variety in here. I think this palette is nice. And I do like how you can buy these individually for 15 bucks. I think that's really cool. So you're not really forced to buy the full Vault collection. You can kind of buy whatever palette as you please. I think that's nice. Now, if you are someone like me and you have a lot of palettes, like you have Soft Glam, everything like that from Anastasia, Modern Renaissance, do I think you absolutely need this? No, probably not. If you're a basic, you know, everyday mom, everyday person, you don't do makeup reviews or, you know, tutorials or something like that, do you think, do I think this would be a good add-on maybe to your makeup routine if you don't have very many eyeshadows, or maybe you want to experiment with these colors? I definitely think this would be a good add-on, but I would also wait for her other orange palette. I also will be doing a tutorial over that one. That other palette is absolutely beautiful, and I can't think of the name of it, but it's oranges, and it's like oranges and greens. That one's also beautiful too. But I think if you want a palette that has these colors, you don't want anything like it, I definitely think buy it. $15 for this mirror, good quality, good pigmentation. I think it's a pretty good deal, honestly. Now, of course, I did buy all 4 of them because I'm obsessed with makeup and I knew I wanted to film a video over them. But I hope you guys did enjoy this tutorial. Like I said, I'm loving it. I will link the Vault Collection down below. I know it will be restocking on the 28th of this month. So definitely get on there if you're interested. Get on there and buy them. Or I know you can buy these individually in stores at Ulta also. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and I will see you guys later. Bye, y'all.